events and issues shaping our community. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
Newsmakers is on the road. We're here in Tallahassee among the pollen and the legislators, and we're here for Children's Week here in the plaza in the courtyard of the state capitol. Our guest this hour is Senator Paula Dockery from District 15. That's right in the middle of the state in Polk County, right?
Absolutely.
And welcome to our show here on Newsmakers.
Thank you. Nice to be with you.
A lot going on during this session, and again, I mean, everything from Senate Bill 6 to the money that's being used for stimulus to plug holes in the budget. A lot of unique elements to this year's session.
Absolutely, and it was interesting in the Senate when we were debating the budget and each of the chairmen of the subcommittees would get up and talk about their part of the budget. I was shocked to find out how much stimulus money we're counting on for each of the various parts of the budget, and in fact asked each of the chairmen to identify how much of their budget was stimulus money, and it turns out that among all of them, it's somewhere between $2 and $3 billion.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
But that well is being dried up next year, right?
It is.
So the theme of next year's session is, where do we get more money?
That's true, and it puts us in a bad spot. For those of us who are fiscal conservatives, we don't like to see temporary money going for recurring needs, and so it delays the inevitable, which is next year, how do we fill the hole, and why aren't we filling the hole this year? And I would like us to start making some of those tough decisions now rather than waiting until next year when the stimulus money is gone.
I've talked to a lot of legislators today, Senator, and they've all said that we've cut to the bone. And now this year, with the deficit this year about $3.2 billion, we're cutting into the meat. What happens next year with that stimulus money being gone?
Right. Well, there's cutting into the bone, but there's also some projects that we're taking on that are new that we don't need to be taking on. And there are some, for example, I fought a rail subsidy that would restore $641 million to the budget. I think this would be a good time to get that money back. Mm-hmm. There's some projects going on like U.S. Sugar, which is not really restoring the Everglades. It's, in my mind, a subsidy to U.S. Sugar. We could be getting that money back, and that will have a detrimental effect on the property taxpayers in the 16 counties in the South Florida Water Management District, because if the money isn't there to pay back the bonds, it could be a tax increase, and that's certainly not what we need to be doing to people who are having a hard time making ends meet at
So you think there are more
home.
efficiencies we can do
There
get out of this budget?
There absolutely are, yeah.
What do you think will happen next year? Do you think that we're going to be really taking a look at more efficiencies, or do you think we're actually going to be looking at more sources of revenue?
I think the economy is going to continue to improve slowly. I think that revenue sources will be up slightly, and I think more people will be put back to work. When more people go to work, less services are needed. For example, Medicaid budget, out of 18 million residents in the state of Florida, 2.8 million are on Medicaid. That's not all health care, that's not Medicare and Medicaid, that's simply Medicaid. When some of those individuals get back to work, that number goes down, that frees up some money. So, do
you think the mood of the Florida voter has changed in the last 2 or 3 years?
Oh, absolutely.
You have?
When I first ran for the Florida House 14 years ago, I've been in the legislature 14 years now, people have always been cynical towards government, but now they're angry. They're very angry. They're having a lot of them are getting their houses foreclosed, a lot of them are having a difficult time making ends meet in their own home, and they see us not living within our means. And so people now are very mad at government that we're not being responsive to what they're asking us to do and asking us not to do. So it's a different electoral climate out there for sure.
Do you think that's statewide or just in urban areas or rural areas?
It's not only statewide, it's nationwide.
And you see more and more
Absolutely.
of that attitude coming along.
As I'm out campaigning statewide, I'm seeing a lot of anger out there. Sure.
All right, well, thanks very much, Senator Paula Dockery, our guest this hour. She's from District 15. I'm Spiro Kenton. We're here in Tallahassee with this series of Comcast Newsmakers during Children's Week. Thanks for joining us.